Okay. Yes. So let's revise briefly. What is classroom management we did in our previous class? This multilingual context also, diverse learning situation circumstances we did. Now we do this creating motivation and lesson planning. Okay. Classroom management, multilingualism, diversity management we did, and diverse learning circumstances. One question we checked, and this diverse context, learning circumstances, as we did. Now this creating motivation part we do today. And this motivation part we also did in unit 4 in teacher profession development in relation with games. Games create motivation the part of students. So games should be used in ELT class. Language games should be used because games are fun. Games create context for language use. Children learn to play game, and when children engage in game like activity, they engage. When they engage, what happens then? They learn language skills and aspects. This important part, skills and aspects they learn. So there we did that, and here just a few points we discussed. Right, the role of motivation in English class. Discuss the various techniques of motivating lower secondary level learners in English class, and this is simple question. And just briefly, brief introduction we write about what is motivation and English language classroom. Then we go to the techniques of motivation. And here just we can say that motivation is internal drive, internal drive which triggers or which causes or which pushes, which causes or which triggers an individual individual to do something. Okay. And motivation in learning, motivation in English language learning is one key factor that determines learners' level of language learning, we can say that. So the highly motivated learners do better in their learning rather in comparison to CMPARI, in comparison to less motivated students. Now we can also say that there are two types of motivation. They are what? Just we can give the bullet. They are INTRINSIC, intrinsic motivation, and EXTRINSIC, intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. There are mainly these two types of motivation we see. And again, you write in the bullet in the paragraph form. It is the intrinsic motivation, INTRISIC, intrinsic motivation, that helps to that helps to do that helps an individual learner to learn. It is the intrinsic motivation that helps to an individual to be, what to say, an individual to learn in their one effort and initiation. So this is important. In extrinsic motivation, we provide some kind of physical rewards. Extrinsic physical rewards, intrinsic psychological treatment, psyche pay, and just we appreciate, and we treat psychologically in intrinsic motivation. So extrinsic motivation, especially we provide some kind of physical rewards, incentive system like money, like other prizes like sweet, copy, pen, we provide to the students, and these physical rewards motivate students to do further in learning. So in comparison to these two types of motivation, intrinsic motivation is better than extrinsic one. When learners, they are motivated themselves and do according to their own effort and initiation, and this will be what better in language learning as well as for sustainable learning. So it is the intrinsic motivation that helps to an individual learner to learn in their one effort and initiation. They think, they realize the importance of language learning. They realize the importance of language learning themselves, and they are motivated to achieve or learn from their one way. So some of the examples of intrinsic motivation are like are, again we can go in bullet, are like PSYCSO, psychological treatment, treatment. Here we provide praise, then praise huncha, prasamsa गरिन्छ, we respect, we acknowledge, we acknowledge, we appreciate, etc. And we provide PSYC as a psyche pay. This is also kind of similar to psychological treatment. Okay. This is about what यति लेखेपछि introduction, brief introduction यति लेखेपछि अब हामी English language थोरै कुरा गरौँ अनि टेक्निकमा कुरा गरौँ. English language teaching and learning require motivation अथवा यसो भनौँ यसलाई यहाँ फालौँ. Motivation plays key role in English language teaching and learning. Okay, English language teaching and learning. So there are many ways of motivating learners towards towards learning English language. Okay, some of major techniques of motivating learners in English class are given below. अब यसरी जाँदा हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई. So brief introduction about motivation. Motivation is internal drive which triggers or causes or pushes an individual to do something. Motivation in English language is one key factor that determines learners' level of language learning. The highly motivated learners do better in their learning in comparison to less motivated students. There are two types of motivation. They are intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. It is the intrinsic motivation that helps to an individual learner to learn in their own effort and initiation. They realize the importance of language learning themselves, and they will be motivated. They realize, and they will be motivated to achieve or to learn from their one way or effort. आफ्नै प्रयासमा आफ्नै लगावमा चाहिँ उनीहरूले सिक्ने प्रयास चाहिँ गर्छ. Intrinsic motivation भयो भने. Some of the examples of intrinsic motivation are psychological treatment, like just we praise, respect, acknowledge their effort, appreciate their effort. We provide to the psyche, and motivation plays key role in English language teaching and learning. There are many ways of motivating learners towards learning English language. Some of the major techniques are of motivating students in English language class are you just mention in the bullet form. Yes, teachers should be live, better prepared, and more active. So in teacher preparation, in teacher's presentation, in teacher's examples which he or she provides while teaching, they determine a lot. So teachers should be live first. जीवन्त हुनु पर्यो. Teachers should be better prepared or बढी तयारी गर्न पर्यो. More active, अझै सक्रिय हुनु पर्यो हैन. And presentation should be brief. Presentation लाई चाहिँ brief बनाउनु पर्छ. लामो झन्झटिलो बनाउने हैन. So exercise should be concrete. ठक्क ठोस example दिने बानी को विकास गर्नु पर्यो. Students should be always active and also proactive. Their students activities must be useful and relevant. क्रियाकलापहरु एकदम उपयोगी र सान्दर्भिक हुनु पर्यो. Then they will be motivated. And this a variety of text tags, context पनि भन्दै म यहाँ अझै a variety of context, text context, a variety of context, text, tags, activities, exercises should be when students, they get chance to involve in different types of, context, text, tasks, activities, then exercises, they will be highly motivated in taking part in English language activities, English language learning activities. Then another one is your this flexibility. Variety is one, okay, very important part in English language teaching. Then flexibility is another part. This variety and flexibility necessary to create in English class. So how do we create variety? Using different contexts, using different text, using different tasks and activities, which are not given in the textbook. So if we think from the supplementing perspective, then we can create what variety in the classroom. Then flexibility is another indicator, another parameter. We can, think or consider to make English classroom live, interesting, and motivating. Flexibility in the use of tasks material should be maintained. So we should not be rigid. एकदम कडा हैन यही हुनुपर्छ भन्ने कन्फाइन्ड लिमिटेड रेस्ट्रिक्टेड हैन त्यस्तो हुन भएन. So according to the needs of the students, we can use different types of tasks and materials. So games, songs, सबैलाई एउटै उमा राखिदिएको छु. Games, songs, rhymes, pictures, audio, video, newspapers, newspaper. So these activities, newspaper should be used in the classroom. So if time and again we use language games in the classroom, then students will be highly motivated and they enjoy, they feel fun, and they physically, mentally involved, and learning becomes effective, quality, sustainable. दिगो हुन्छ हैन, गुणस्तरीय हुन्छ, सँगसँगै दिगो हुन्छ, because they physically and mentally involved. They take part physically, mentally. They play at the same time. They learn the content. They learn the language. Language means skills and aspects. So this is another important part. Then fun, happy, and engaging environment. Environment should be maintained or should be created. Fun environment create गर्नु पर्यो हैन, and happy environment हुनु पर्यो. Happy environment or atmosphere, 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 English language teaching and learning should be in happy atmosphere. Fun should be there. Engagement should be there, Fun, happy, and engagement. Fun, engagement, and happy atmosphere or environment should be created in English class. And respect, to motivate students, we have to respect, we have to appreciate their effort, then we have to acknowledge their potentiality, their possibility, because there is one objective in national education of Nepal, राष्ट्रिय शिक्षाको उद्देश्य एउटा छ नि हाम्रो, explore the individual inherent potentiality. प्रत्येक व्यक्तिमा भएको अन्तर्निहित क्षमतालाई प्रपुष्टन गर्ने भन्छ नि. So why don't we respect, acknowledge, then appreciate, to motivate them in learning language, then ultimately they explore their internal inherent potentiality. So respect is necessary, then appreciation is necessary, and then acknowledgement. उसँग भएको प्रतिभालाई acknowledge गरिदिनु पर्यो के, सम्मान गरिदिनु पर्यो, आइडेन्टिफाई, पहिचान गर्न पर्यो र सम्मान गरिदिनु पर्यो. त्यो भयो भने then every individual learners they will be motivated in learning English. So this is respect and appreciation is necessary. Then we can also do, so from the teacher's perspective or teacher side, teachers should do fair treatment to all students. All are the same. All are good students. We have to treat them as what fair treatment should be there. Otherwise, if we do unfair treatment, love to some students and hate to some remaining students. If our behaviors show such activities, then there will be what some motivated, some demotivated students will there. So peer treatment is necessary. Okay, and psyche. This is what psyche means. What psychological treatment. Like we praise, we provide just gentle tap, halka dhamari. Yes, you are doing well. Good job. It's well done. You are doing well. This kind of words, this kind of words, and then praise, gentle tap should frequently be used in the classroom to motivate students in learning English. And incentive system also. So incentive system like physical rewards, you can say PHYS, physical rewards also motivate students. So this physical reward, especially related with the extrinsic motivation, and psyche or psychological treatment is what intrinsic motivation. This is PHYCHO, psychological treatment. I know. So psychological treatment we can do, then they will be motivated. And these are what some very crucial, very specific activities we can use in English classroom to motivate students in learning English. Okay, question may ask like this: यसरी सोध्न सक्छ हैन? यसरी सोध्यो भने यसरी लेख्नु पर्छ होला भन्ने. This is what sample answer, and you have also some knowledge, understanding, experience. So my request is read this answer also. You adjust your ideas here, and you make your own answer about creating motivation in English language classroom. Okay, we can do like this. So what write the roles of motivation in English class? Yeah, motivation role I yes, briefly. The highly motivated learners do better in the learner. This is the role. And in intrinsic motivation, it is the intrinsic motivation that plays or that helps to an individual to learn in their own effort and initiation. They realize the importance of language learning themselves, and they will be motivated to achieve or learn from their own way or effort. Some of the examples of intrinsic motivation: these motivation plays key role. Okay, key role in English language teaching or learning. यहाँ थोरै थपिदिउँ न roles. Key role in English language teaching and learning. Motivation creates learning environment, learning culture, or learning environment, learning culture among the learners. They wait. To be specific, to be specific, the following, some of the roles of motivation that plays in learning English language, can be mentioned. To be specific, some of the roles of motivation that plays in learning English language can be mentioned in the following ways. Okay, ल यसो यसको रोल चाहिँ च्याट बक्समा लेख्नुहोस् त what roles we can specify or particularly we can talk about motivation. Can you write in the chat box? Chat box, what do you think? I check your chat box also. Fun and engagement. Okay. Motivation creates fun and engaging environment. Fun creates motivation inspires, inspires learners towards learning English. Okay. And okay, I think you are increased interest in learning. Okay. It increases, it increases interest, interest of the learners. Okay, it increases interest of the learners, inspires learners towards learning English, high inspiration and goal oriented. Yes, it helps learners to be goal oriented, oriented towards destination, then self-explorer, self-learners. Okay, it helps, it develops learners is self-regulated and self-controlled. It develops learners as self-regulated learners. Self-regulated learners. Okay. Confidence level also. Okay. Encourages to be free frank. Okay. Go. Motivation inspires learners towards learning English. It increases interest of the learners. It helps learners to be goal oriented. It develops learners as self-regulated learners. Motivation helps the teachers to bring out their internal ability. It let's say fosters or increases, it increases internal inherent potentiality of the learners. Okay, so children, yes, these are few to mention here. Yeah, okay, these are some sample roles motivation plays in learning language. One is what? Inspiration, hausala dini, another is your interest, ruchi vikas garcha, and then another one is goal oriented, lakshya kendrit, uddeshya kendrit banadincha. The next one is what? Self regulated, so niyaman, आफैले नियमन गर्ने के हैन. So it fosters what? Inherent potentiality, अन्तर्निहित क्षमतालाई यसले प्रफुस्टर गर्नको लागि सहयोग गर्छ. So there are many ways of motivating तिर जाउँ. So in this way यसको आन्सर यसरी लेख्न सकिन्छ होला हैन. So you try it. Just few sentences about motivation, and then we talk about some rules of motivation like this and the ways of motivating students. Finally, in conclusion, motivation, it is needless in conclusion, motivation is in conclusion, what we can say is motivation is key factor, one key factor that determines level of level and pace of language learning of the learners. Therefore, we therefore